Alright, guys. Let me know if this one's working. We should have this one working now. I kind of just switched back to the old layout. I didn't really like the new one. But yeah, we're back. We'll see how it does. Tomorrow we got economic data, so today we could experiment a little bit with it, but we're back. I didn't like the old one, or the new one. Let me fix all this stuff now. What I do like is the layout where we have the big two charts up and then we have the small charts in the middle. This should be nice. We might have to squeeze this one a little bit closer. And then maybe put this a little bit closer. Look at the NASDAQ pump here, though, man. Wow. Yeah, look at Bitcoin here. Let me squeeze the bottom. Yeah, I'm more comfortable with OBS anyway. The other one is just too unnecessary. I wanted to try it today when it was kind of a slower day. We didn't really have much going on in stocks. But yeah. Yep. Alright, let me try to clean this. I think I have to stretch this a little bit tighter. Widen this up a little bit. Keep Bitcoin at the bottom here. Oh, that's better. Yeah, there we go. Let me know if this is cleaner. This looks cleaner to me now. Look. I like this much better. I can look at more stuff, to be honest, going on. Here's the NASDAQ at 25,640. Like, I tried, I'm using what's called StreamYard. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. It's too overly complicated. Like, you can only look at one chart at a time. And I don't like that at all. I want to have a bunch of different charts up that we can all look at. Like, here's gold. Gold's pushing up to 4470s. Hey, what's up, Steve? Crazy thing, gold and silver wave rocked with no fear in stock market. Homely kitchen vibes? Yeah, listen, we're back here. I like this much better. Look at the NASDAQ push up here. NASDAQ is at 25,637s. Basically filled the whole gap. I'm trying to figure out why we dropped so much. Does anybody know why we had this huge drop right here earlier this morning? Yeah, like look at this big pullback here. The NASDAQ. We just had that huge drop. Very large. We ended up getting bought right back up, though. So, like, we basically filled the whole gap on the downside. Yeah, the Dow had a record run. If you take a look at the Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ are doing okay this morning. But the Dow, you know, if we take a look at the YM, it pushed all the way up to 49,463. Oh, y'all can't hear the music. I'm listening to music right here. Hold on. There we go. I'm betting big on Rigetti and IREN. All right, there's Bitcoin at 93.8. Look at the Dow, though, man. The Dow had a crazy day yesterday. Almost $50,000 on the Dow. If we take a look at it, Dow is right here, the bottom middle chart. Look at the Dow. 30-minute chart shows it. Almost 50,000. I think that's the next big step. I think the S&P is going to want 7,000 pretty soon here. 7,000, we're getting really close. Yesterday we got up to 69.60 and 69.63 at one point in time on the S&P. I think it wants 7,000. 7,000's a little ways up there. It's this green line right here. So we still got a ways to climb. But I think that's the next big psychological level. It's just 7,000. Let me fix my scroller. Yeah, so December 4.5% jobless rate is likely to keep the Fed on a pause, according to Bank of America. So Bank of America expects December payrolls to rise 70,000 above the 54,000 job consensus, driven by education and health jobs. The unemployment rate may fall to 4.5 from 4.6%, according to Bank of America. And they think because of this, we're likely going to pause rates this month in January. A rise to 4.7 or higher could signal labor weakness and potential rate cuts, though Bank of America's base case remains no further cuts under Jerome Powell. So they basically don't think Jerome Powell's going to cut rates anymore. Let me know if you guys agree with this. Yeah, I didn't really like the mobile stream. I think the mobile stream, when we tried it just now, kind of mobile stream kind of it spread it too thin. Like, it separated people. People didn't know which stream to join, and I think this one's clean here. There's the E-mini. We might trade the NASDAQ this morning. NASDAQ up to 24,640s. NASDAQ looks very strong, getting some bullish momentum. Again, we did have the NVIDIA conference yesterday. Jensen Huang spoke about I mean, I don't know. I think Powell lowered rates 3 times last year. And I think yeah, I think Jerome Powell cut rates even though he didn't necessarily think there were no risks to inflation. I think he still cut rates 3 times. And so, you know, I don't really get political. I'm kind of neutral and all that stuff, but I do think that Jerome Powell cut rates 3 times last year. And so if you wanted rate cuts, you got to give him a little credit. But again, I do think it's really political and, you know, how people are right now. But remember, it is a voting system, so it's not like Jerome Powell is going to be able to do everything himself. Yeah, so NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang did say at the CES that NVIDIA is going to ship full stack AV on 2025 Mercedes-Benz CLAs. That's an interesting dynamic. Let me see if we can. Goldman Sachs BMO raises price target to $980 from $785. Wells Fargo also cuts DR Horton Inc. to equal weight from overweight, cuts target price to $155 from $180. Boeing is also named the top U.S. defense pick at Bernstein. Boeing at recently. Again, NVIDIA opened up higher yesterday. It's now down a little bit relative to where it was. Boeing has had a pretty good time here. There was a period of time where I was in Boeing. But again, look at Boeing right now. It's at 228s. Right now, 228s. Again, if you have any stocks you want me to look at, let me know. Fed believes what the data is telling them. Just delete the last stream. Gold, Taiwan Semiconductors. The comments on the screen are cool. I can still probably put the comments on the screen if you guys want. Unity rising. Yeah, I mean, I still think Unity's down since the beginning of December. It was at 52 at the beginning of December. It's down to 46. If you're talking about this small little bounce for Unity, I don't know if that's to necessarily celebrate. Look at Apple rise a little bit. So Apple's starting to push up here. Again, Bitcoin just under 94,000. VIX is up. Yeah, I mean, VIX is, it's not, I wouldn't say the VIX is high right now. The VIX is at 15. Just to put this in perspective, here's a daily chart on the VIX. The VIX is right here right now. So the VIX is not high right now, meaning like downward volatility is not crazy at this point in time. I think crypto will do very good this year. LiDAR doing some big things. Yeah, so the VIX is still pretty low. It's at $15, which is not high, obviously. If you look at the range here, in craziness like April of last year, we went to 60 on the VIX. So the VIX is going to go up as downward volatility is the highest. Right now, downward volatility is not the highest. So the VIX is at $15, so pretty low, honestly. Silver obviously making a big squeeze. If we take a look at silver here on the left side, silver, again, 82.60s is the all-time high on silver futures. This morning's high is right around 79.20s. 79.20s are this morning's high, and I think those are pretty relevant levels to pay attention to if we look at this. Again, 79.30 is the high of the day, right around 79.30. You log into I can also add the chat box if you guys really want to. I already know how to do it. Let me see if it lets me. Look at silver, guys. I might buy silver, to be honest, here, and day trade a little bit of silver. Just my preference here. Maybe day trade a little bit of silver. I think silver has the momentum. It has people paying attention to it today. And so I'm going to look to maybe buy a dip, but I'm going to try to get in small here. If I can get into micro silver, it's probably better than actual silver. Even though micro silver moves a lot as well. But we could try. Oh my goodness. Hold on. All right, so we bought this dip. I don't know how, but I just made about $75 from that trade. Hold on, let me see this. Should have held. But look at Apple. Again, we're watching NVIDIA today. German inflation recently came out. It came in at 0.2% versus 0.4%, 2% versus 2.2%. All right, so yeah, yesterday Jensen Huang said next generation of chips is in full production and there is strong demand from China for the H200 chips. AMD's up a little bit today as well. Here's NVIDIA, here's AMD. AMD up to almost 223s right now. Yesterday, Jensen showcased the MI455 and MI440X AI chips at CES and previewed the MI500 processors. Or no, maybe he's talking about AMD. Set to launch in 2027. Intel is up 1%, launches next generation PC chips as well as CES in Las Vegas. Taiwan Semiconductors up over 2%, planning to build 12 wafer fabs in Arizona. So again, microchips are optimistic today. With that said, though, look at silver. Silver's still climbing. Yeah. Any stocks that you guys think look cheap? I'm looking at silver, but I'm also looking at stocks. Morning. Any stocks that you think look cheap? Oil's on a pullback after the Venezuela thing. I just think there's a lot of volatility there to be careful with. And then again, tomorrow we do have, if we take a look at the Fed Watch tool here. Again, we looked at yields earlier. It's been basically stagnant at 16% likelihood of a cut, 84% likelihood of a pause. Look at Bitcoin. Again, Bitcoin just under 94,000. Here's 94K right here on Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is just over 94,000. Silver's now dipping down here, but it's just like if silver makes a crazy move on the upside, I don't want to get stuck. I guess we could try it today. We just bought the dip in silver. See if it holds. Or no, we'll wait. Silver finally dipping down a little bit here. Okay, so actually we just traded. What did we just trade? I don't know. Here, let me get an actual silver here. I'll show you guys the actual trading right now. I'm gonna buy this dip in silver, micro silver futures. It said when we got out we were up like 500, but then it only filled us. Spread must be ridiculous. We're still up 70 or so. But I'm buying this little pullback in silver. We'll see if we can rise higher here. Give it a second. All right, we're up $60. Johnson & Johnson unveils new data showing one of their bio drugs is the first and only investigational drug with potential to reduce systemic lupus in a phase 2 study. We also have, who is this? Moran is going to speak at 8:30 Eastern time this morning. So we do have Governor Moran speaking at 8:30 Eastern time. Which is in about 23 minutes. I think he's going to speak on TV. Again, 8:30 Eastern time. All right, so we're down a little bit, but remember, we're already flat on the day here. We already made a little bit of money on regular mini silver futures. We're now in micro silver futures. So we're about flat, actually, right now. Precious metal will keep rising as geopolitical tensions remain high. No one knows what comes next. Greenland, Taiwan, or next big place. Look, I'll try to add to it and take the risk, but man, look at silver come back down here. I'm not used to these silver swings. I'll give it a second. Look at that. I'm gonna cut half of one of these right here. Just to be safe. Hey, what's up, Matt? Sam, Luke. I want to give this one a second. I'm not going to cut this one yet. Yeah, Bitcoin's sitting right at 93.8. I'm watching 94K. All right, we're starting to push up here. I'll sit on this for a little bit. We'll add the scroller now. There we go. All right, so we're actually up a decent amount. Let me see what we're doing here. Yeah, okay, we're gonna go ahead and cut this right here. I think. Bought the dip. We're nicely green now on this account. Guy's a noob with crypto, man. Honestly, I've been watching crypto for over a decade at this point in time. I look at Bitcoin every day. Bitcoin at almost 94. I think 94 is a big level. Again, I talked about this earlier, but if you zoom out, we haven't really held over 94,000 since November or longer. So I think 94,000 because of that is just kind of a psychological level you probably want to pay attention to. Again, 94,000 is right here. We popped over it for a little while early December, but we never really held over those levels. So I'm looking at 94,000. I want to see if 94K holds. I'd like to see Bitcoin get over 94,000 and hold for a little while just to improve sentiment. But again, I think over that, 100,000 is probably the big spot that you want to watch. 100K is right here. I think 100,000 is a big level that we probably want to tune in for. And look at silver continue to rise. Hey, good morning, Jay. It's going okay. Yeah, Bitcoin's starting to pop. Let's see if it holds 93. And here's Nvidia. Nvidia, the big story in markets is CES yesterday. CES yesterday, Jensen Huang. I should have held for sure, honestly, with silver. But I'm kind of getting used to the silver swings. They're a little bit larger than I normally take, so bear with me. I'm getting used to the silver movements because there's just a lot of them. Yeah, we're going to be looking at gold and silver a lot today, just based off of the dynamic of silver ripping over highs. Got a kind of a sideways range. And yesterday, honestly, after the opening bell, it was pretty flat. We do finally have economic data coming back tomorrow. Starting with the ADP prelim. Or no, the ADP monthly report actually is tomorrow. It's not the prelim, it's the monthly report tomorrow. It starts at 8. It usually comes out at 8:15. It's expected at 50,000 tomorrow, and then we have JOLTS report at 10 a.m. tomorrow. ISM services data at 10 o'clock tomorrow. Today we don't really have any big data. A little bit slower for that type of stuff. But tomorrow we got some stuff to cover. We got JOLTS, ADP data. Thursday we have jobless claims, trade balance data. And then Friday, we have the big labor report that everybody's waiting for. Unemployment expected at 4.5%. Non-farm payrolls expected at 57,000 tomorrow. So we'll see what that looks like. Japan's 30-year yield is up to 3.5%, which is the highest level ever. But the yen carry trade dynamic is pressuring things, according to a lot of people. I kind of want to buy this dip again in silver. It's small enough to where I think it's interesting, and we're also pulling back to kind of a support level. We'll try. Maybe here. Yeah, so apparently we accidentally just bought we accidentally just bought actual mini futures contracts. We're actually up 250 in this trade. Let's take profit, but it didn't actually fill us well. So I'm gonna go back to micro silver futures here just because they're smaller. I kind of missed this pullback though. We'll add a little bit here. Wrong account. Okay, so we're up a decent amount in this. I'll put the $155. We'll take a little bit of this off here. We're up about $85 on the rest. I wanted to buy this because I thought we were pulling back to this support level right here. If you look at this, this is the support level we were buying into, and you can see how well it actually held right there. But we're up a few $100s on the day already, so I'm going to be kind of loose, or I'm going to be kind of tight with the rest. I'm not going to let it break back underneath this level. We already took some profit. About $45 here. $70, $75. We'll give it a second here, though. I'll let this run. We cut it right there at about $100 and something in profit here. So on this account, we are now up about 270 or so on the day. Day trading silver again. I wanted to buy this previous resistance area, potentially turning into support now that we were cleanly over it. It did. We'll see what happens for the rest of the day. But we got a nice cushion now. We don't have any economic reports. Disciplines. Economic reports are light. We need the gaps on the E-mini and the NASDAQ to fill. Yeah, get Bitcoin back down to 93.7s. 93.7s. Bitcoin dipping down. I'm still kind of optimistic on Bitcoin, though. I want to see what Bitcoin does. All right, so the president said that the U.S. markets just hit another all-time high, all of them. So I think the president tweeted again. Let me make sure. So many ads on Truth, man. Like, you go check Truth. Again, it's unusable. There's so many ads. But the U.S. market just hit another all-time high. He said, again, I'm quoting the president on Truth. He said, the U.S. market just hit a new all-time high. All of them. Thank you, you Mr. Tariff. Pray that the United States Supreme Court allows our country to continue its unprecedented march towards unparalleled greatness. Both our national and financial securities have never been stronger. End quote. U.S. President Donald Trump. Again, I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just covering the news, and sometimes these tweets, if they're super relevant to markets, can move stuff. But yeah, that's what he said. Again, he said, quote, U.S. markets just hit another all-time high. All of them. Thank you, you Mr. Tariff. Pray that the U.S. Supreme Court allows our country to continue its unprecedented march toward unparalleled greatness. Both our country and both our national and financial security have never been stronger. End quote. With silver here, we'll see if silver holds the 78.4 level. We're right there. What's up, Fox? What's up, R? What's up, Harry? Yeah, I'm looking at the NASDAQ here. I've been trading silver this morning, but I am looking at the NASDAQ. We did bounce right at the 625 level. Look at that. Let's see if this holds, though. I wish I would have seen this level prior to this bounce, because if I would have seen us pull back to this level, I might have bought this rebound back up. If that makes sense. Yeah, we'll see if Texas can win the wild card. I'm not a big Texans fan, to be honest. I'm a Saints fan mostly if we're talking NFL. I also like the Bengals. You know. I also kind of root for the Vikings. Here's your chance to buy. Yeah, look, here's that 625 level we had on our chart. We've been respecting that level a lot. Let's see if we actually hold. Nvidia pre-market rally, open market waterfall again. Maybe. Nvidia's up to almost 190s. But again, if you looked at Nvidia yesterday, so like since the opening bell yesterday, here's Nvidia in this middle chart. The problem is that here's Nvidia yesterday at the open. So Nvidia yesterday at the open was at 190s. It dropped all the way down to 186 and then got bought all the way back up. It rebounded about 2/3 of the way back up from the drop that happened yesterday at the opening bell. And now again, it's sitting just under 190s. I think 190 psychologically is an important level to pay attention to, as well as 200, obviously. I don't know if we're going to get to 200 for Nvidia. They did have the CES conference yesterday. But again, the market didn't really like the CES conference. It just didn't really like the CES moves. You know, market just didn't really like it, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty green on this account. I'll probably switch accounts. I don't want to give anything back here on the account that I'm up 260 in. I think the 625 level is honestly held a little bit too much, though. Again, silver breaking back down again if we take a look at silver. Here's the 200 exponential on silver. I think $78 down here makes sense too. 78 short term, if it holds there. Down to the 200 exponential, so like a short term level, maybe 78. Watch. Yeah, I think there's day 2 today of CES. All right, so we're now under the 200 exponential on silver. Let's watch that $78 level. All right, so he dropped under the 200 exponential. I'm looking at 78 right below us. Good bounce. Not quite at 78, but at this previous level. So yeah, Jensen did his main CES keynote yesterday. Today, NVIDIA's doing follow-up sessions and demos. There's no big keynote, though, from today. So we got some follow-up demos today for CES, but it's not any, like, crazy big one. I'm still watching the $78 level. What happened to USAR? Again, I told you guys the story of my friend wanting to buy it. And I told him it was not really my style of a trade. And then it went to $43 from like 16. And he texted me. He was like, hey, you see, did you look at USAR? And I was like, yeah. But again, I don't know anything about it. I understand what it is, but the moves are a little bit too volatile. So since September, it's gone from 15 to 44, back down to 10 basically, and back up to 16 where it's at now. So those are big moves, man. Y'all be careful with stuff like that. Again, here goes silver testing $78. Again, microchip strength is there today. See if it holds. I think it would definitely affect oil. Regarding risk assets, I think it would definitely affect oil. AMD CEO was nice. Yeah, I mean, we had a bunch of stuff yesterday, but we'll see if it settles today. We still don't have much news dropping this morning, so it's still a little slow regarding news. We finally have stuff to cover tomorrow, but see, look at that $78 level on silver. Look. We just tapped it. I could have bought it. Maybe I should have. I know one thing. I don't want to accidentally buy mini contracts in silver versus micro. See if that $78 holds. Silver. Yeah, here's the NASDAQ. Oh, look at that $78 level. Yeah, market opens up in like an hour. We still got about an hour until the open. And honestly, we don't have any economic data. So the president also said U.S. national and financial security at record strength. He said that the U.S. national and financial security have, quote, never been stronger. He pointed to the stock market reaching all-time highs, crediting his trade tariffs. He urged the Supreme Court to allow the country to continue what he called its, quote, unprecedented march towards unparalleled greatness, end quote, referring to a case that could invalidate the tariffs. And then he also tweeted about California governor and more. Barkin said we must balance the progress on inflation and employment. Barkin said Fed policy now in the range of estimates for neutral. Looking forward to clean data in the coming weeks. Both sides of the Fed mandate bear watching, and tax cuts, deregulation, and rate cuts to boost the economy is what he said. So again, he said tax changes, deregulation, and impact of rate cuts should all add stimulus to the economy this year. He said he expects last year's uncertainty to diminish this year in 2026, building confidence among consumers and businesses. He said last year showed the economy's resilience, but demand and job growth are narrowly focused on certain industries, and sentiment has dipped. I also think that we have we have Moran speaking. If you want to see the full speech by Barkin, I'm pretty sure this is it right here. January 6th. If you want to see the full speech by Barkin, this is it right here. He basically said, both sides of our mandate bear watching. Unemployment remains low on a historic basis, but it's ticked up. Inflation has come down, but remains above target. Going forward, policy will require finally two judgments, balancing progress on each side of our mandate. You know, I talked about the resilient U.S. economy. So let me kick off with Elton John. I'm still standing. Feels like the right note to start. 2020 U.S. economy has seen it all. Global surge in inflation, a sharp increase in interest rates, and the failure of multiple banks to plunge in office real estate value, serious geopolitical conflicts, significant changes back and forth in government policies, and more. Yet the economy has proven remarkably resilient. It hasn't been the end of the world as we know it. Man, he's referencing some bands. He referenced Elton John. I'm still standing. He referenced REM. The end of the world as we know it. He said third quarter GDP came in healthy at 4.3. October core retail sales showed consumers are still spending, and unemployment rate has been ticking up, rising each last four. It still remains historically low at 4.6%. But yeah, that's basically what he said. I don't. Again, just to recap this, he said essentially that we must balance progress on inflation and employment. Barkin said Fed policy is now in the range of estimates for neutral. Looking forward to clean data in the coming weeks. Both sides of the Fed mandate are important to watch. Tax cuts and deregulation and rate cuts to boost economy. Bernstein also thinks that you should buy the crypto stocks. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm not an investment professional. I'm not liable if you lose money. Always make your own assessment. Trade smart. I can't guarantee anything. I'm not an investment professional. All this stuff on screen, understand it. But yeah, Bernstein says buy crypto stocks on the 2026 dip. One of their analysts, Gautam, is bullish on crypto for this year after strong 2025. Equities plus 59% on average is what he's referencing. He said tokenization supercycle dominates Bitcoin bottomed. His target is 150 for this year, 200,000 for 2027. You guys agree with this? Again, as we say that, Bitcoin is pulling back a little bit. It's at 60 or 93,690s, 93.7s basically right now. Economy isn't the same as labor market. Well, they're definitely related. Yeah, I think I'm in Oracle still. Again, here's Oracle at 193s. Oracle is at 193s. We do have Oracle down here. Again, I'm in Oracle. Let me see where I'm in Oracle at. I can't remember if I'm red or green. I'm actually very green on Oracle. Oh yeah, I'm in at 182s on Oracle. We're very green there. We also are in silver right now. We are also in Nike with one of our best trades, to be honest. Nike pumping up. We're in some treasuries. We're in Target, very green on that one as well. We bought the dip in PayPal yesterday. We're also in Netflix. I might add to my Netflix position though. Is it time to buy Netflix right here? Should I add more to my Netflix position? I think I might right now. I think long-term Netflix is going to be fine. Live sports, more. Sorry, if you hear the noise, it's my end on toss. Alright, so we just added a bunch to this. If risks become too great, we can always unload more. We're in Coca-Cola. We're in Meta as well. Green on those. We're in Disney as well. Green on that one. Our average price in Disney is 109s. It's at 114s for Disney. I didn't realize how much Disney went up yesterday. So yeah, we're technically green on Disney now too. We're in SoFi. Also very green on that one as well. So this is just what I'm holding right now. These are certainly not recommendations to buy. This is just what I'm sitting on right now, guys. I added a little bit to my PayPal position yesterday. Again, I added a little bit to it yesterday. I should have bought the silver dip here. Why Netflix? I think long term Netflix is gonna be fine. I think it's currently in the process of pulling back pretty heavily here. So, you know, they did their split not that long ago. Here's the last 3 or 4 months in Netflix. And so I think if you look at it, Netflix has pulled back a lot. Again, I'm not recommending you buy this. I'm not an investment professional. But yeah, Netflix has dipped a lot. They're getting into live sports. The Jake Paul fight did really, really well. I think they're probably going to do some spinoffs from Stranger Things as well. Even though Stranger Things is over, I think they're probably going to do some spinoffs and stuff like that from it. And so because of that, I just like Netflix long term. Short term, who knows? I don't hate it long term. We'll see what happens. It's small. Yeah, I see USAR. See USAR pushing higher. Again, Barkin spoke earlier talking about how there's balance. We're at the neutral rate, he thinks, and more. Again, yields are a little bit higher today. We finally get some economic data tomorrow, though. It's been a drought again, just because of Ghost Week in markets where markets are mostly slow and boring and closed. Again, Nvidia is expanding its push into EVs, according to CEO Jensen Huang announcing the launch of Alpamayo, which is a new, quote, thinking and reasoning AI model for self-driving tech during a CEO keynote yesterday. Wedbush thinks this move is positive, saying it supports AV development and reinforces NVIDIA outlook that could surpass a $5 trillion market value in near term and reach $6 trillion in market value. We'll see. And here's NVIDIA right here. And NVIDIA opened up really strong yesterday and then kind of fell back down some, but it is climbing back higher. Here's 190 right here. So I think 190 is probably a good level to watch for NVIDIA. Yesterday, Venezuela's Caracas Stock Exchange ended the day up almost 20%, up 17% as markets react to the U.S. news. One of Japan's business lobby chiefs says they want a wage hike deeply embedded in society, hope to see wage hikes over multiple years. Yeah, so we also have like a lot of talks about NVIDIA. NVIDIA CEO said demand remains strong during a CEO keynote yesterday, but investors are still concerned about their ability to meet it. According to Raymond James, worries center on potential memory chip supply constraints. The firm noted that NVIDIA has been planning its supply chain with partners for about 2 years, suggesting that some of their key components are secured here. Do I have a poll today? I don't think I did a poll. Let me do one here. My bad, guys. Here, let me do a poll. What's a good question for the poll? Give me some options. Yeah, WWE and Stranger Things. Yeah, there's the rumor that we're going to get a secret episode of Stranger Things today. I do not think we're going to do that. I think it would be a great move, but I just don't think they're going to. Are you red or green today? There you go. Are you red or green today? Yeah, look at silver. Again, silver bouncing right off that $78 level we talked about right here. Maybe I should have bought it, but I'm already up a good bit on it. The jobs numbers don't come out until tomorrow, at Thursday and Friday. So tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday, we get multiple different job reports. We get the ADP data tomorrow at 8:15 Eastern Standard Time. So we get ADP data tomorrow, ADP jobs data tomorrow. We get Thursday, we get jobless claims, unemployment filings. We do get jobless claims tomorrow. And then Friday, we get the big one, which is the big labor report. So we will see what we get. But yeah, tomorrow we get to start at ADP data at 8:15 Eastern Time. Yeah, Bitcoin's still dipping down here. I would buy Bitcoin futures, but I also kind of want to buy NVIDIA. Looking at the NASDAQ, I think this might be a pullback zone for the NASDAQ as well. I think we may be able to get into a small trade today on the NASDAQ here. We'll try. We'll take up to 5 micro contracts. I have been trying to scale my size up a little bit. I'm gonna start small here though. Maybe add some to this to bounce. 4 contracts. Maybe add a little bit more, to be honest, to this. We got a little range here. A little range. Add a little bit to this on this pullback. We got 5 contracts now. Today's the last day for the Santa Claus rally. See, I heard people say that about markets yesterday too, about the last day for the Santa rally. I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. I know we got a bunch of labor reports and stuff like that though starting tomorrow. And so maybe we'll get a late delayed Santa rally. I don't know. All right, so we're in 5 micros. Still pretty small. I might need to take a little bit more here. We'll take 7 contracts here. There we go. Look at that pop. Santa rally passed. Yeah. Take a little bit off up here just because we're very green, but it's having a hard time getting back up there. Like, yeah, we got about 45 minutes until the opening bell. Silver's pushing all the way back up. Man, I should have bought that $78 dip on silver, but that's all right. I'm not gonna hold this one too loose here, I think. I'd love to see it pop higher though. Let it test 625. If it breaks under that clean, get out. 25 bounce. Like this at all. We'll give it a second, but I have to cut it. Yeah, it's the last what? Jerome Powell steps down in May. So he steps down in May. You can even bet on the likelihood that Jerome Powell gets fired early. I don't think he will. I think he's going to finish with May. But May is the last FOMC decision, just to put this in perspective, with Jerome Powell is going to be. Let me find it. Speaking of this, hold on. So Moran says all names on short list for Fed chair are credible. Moran says, have not spoken with the president about becoming the Fed chairman. I have not spoken with the president. He said Fed policy was restrictive in holding the economy back. Says underlying inflation is near the Fed's target. He says the Fed should cut more than 100 basis points this year. He said Fed policy is restrictive. Quirks in housing inflation are driving overshoot of target. Again, he said the Fed should cut rates by over 100 basis points this year, which I don't think we're going to do. He said quirks in housing inflation are driving overshoot. Expects data to support more rate cuts. Again, the president also said he will soon leave the White House to speak to House Republicans at the Kennedy Center. He claimed the center was in financial and physical decline a year ago, but said it's since been revitalized with hundreds of millions of dollars in fundraising, predicting major improvements ahead. This is going to be at 10 a.m. Moran says fiscal policy will support growth this year. I might buy this dip on the NQ down here at the 200 exponential right here. I need a little bit more of a dip, but we'll try. All-time high on silver is what, 82.60s? Like here's silver right here. I think all-time high is 82.60s. Yeah, 82.67. So this is the all-time high on silver right here. Yeah, we got 45 minutes until the opening bell. 45 minutes. I'm going to buy this dip in the NASDAQ right here. Right now. 5 contracts. Give it a second. We might add up to 7 or 8. I've been trying to take a little bit larger size here. See if we pop right back up quickly. Go. Here we go. Small gain so far on this, but that's all right. Maybe we'll add back. We've scaled out of most of this position here. I didn't really get a chance to add. I get a chance. 5, 6, 7 contracts again here. I'm going to give it a chance to bounce at the 200 EMA, which is right where we're at now. The range seems to be kind of light on the day. And here's silver. Silver's heading back up to it, looks like. Hey, $2 is good. Green is good on the day. Up 400. Yeah, I'm up like 2 something. 270 or so. Less now, though. We're now down on this trade, so. $600 maybe. Yeah, I'm gonna have to cut this pretty soon. Part of the problem, I think, is Nvidia. Look, Nvidia kind of leading the market. Nvidia had its big dip. I still think Nvidia might head back up there. I think Nvidia might want 190. We'll have to cut this soon. I wanted to see if Nvidia bounced fast and drug the NASDAQ up with it, but so far no good. Drink my coffee. All right, we're gonna have to cut this, I think. Silver dipped a little. Silver's range is kind of sideways. Get here, silver. Yeah, Moran says if monetary policy stays too tight, it might be NIP growth. It might nip growth in the bud. He said is optimistic about economic growth, though. So Moran is still speaking here. Again, he expects data to support more rate cuts. If monetary policy is too tight, it might nip growth in the bud. Optimistic about economic growth. Really excited about limited master accounts. Expects data to support more rate cuts. Fed should cut more than 100 basis points this year, he says. If we do. I don't think we will, but, you know. All right, I'm going to have to cut this. We took a try here. Which accounts to. I'm trying to see where we fell here. Hold on. Yeah. Silver is ripping up here. Silver still pop. Silver's still making moves here. Trying to get over some of these levels. See if 600 holds the NASDAQ up here. Trying. Looking at silver, I think silver might be some of the best trades to take in terms of like easy momentum. A little bit spreadier though. From green 650. Market dump, then market open. Are we bull or bear for the opening bell? Looking at our poll, we asked people, are you red or green today? 54% say they're green. 28% say they are now effectively red on the day. 18% say no trades. I can respect the discipline today in that. All right. So, be honest, we it's the right one. Yeah, we're in micro silver here, and we basically made all the money we lost in this account back here. Day trading micro silver. Yeah, we're out of that now. So we are up very nicely on the day and everything now. Getting in and out of micro silver here, attacking some of this momentum. We bought this dip here at 78, rode it back up. And so we are down only $11 in that account. And then the other account we're trading, we're up $284. So net, we're up about 273 or so. Look at this push on silver though, guys. Silver making some moves here. And I'll put the NASDAQ up on the top chart now, but look at silver. Wow. 78.80s here for silver, making huge moves on the upside. Again, China is reportedly considering tightening rare earth exports to Japan, according to China Daily. So we did get this news recently released. Again, China considering tightening rare earth exports to Japan. KeyBank also reiterated an overweight rating on Nvidia just now. They reiterated an overweight rating, 275 price target on Nvidia after the CES keynote yesterday. They said the Vera Rubin platform is in full production, on track for second half ramp, delivering major performance and efficiency gains. KeyBank also cited the launch of their Alpamayo EV platform and strong AI demand as positives. Yeah, look, so this news just dropped about China reportedly considering tightening rare earth exports to Japan. Look at silver. NASDAQ did hold. So this week, hybrid, we have a lot of big stories, to be honest, in markets. We got a lot of big stories. Specifically, we have ADP prelim or ADP monthly report tomorrow. So the ADP monthly report drops tomorrow at 8:15. Eastern Standard Time, 8:15 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Again, it is expected at sorry, I'm looking at Friday's job report. So the ADP data is expected tomorrow at 50,000 jobs on the month for December for ADP non-farm employment change. Now remember, ADP is a private payroll processor, so they have a lot of the accurate jobs data. Look at silver still run here. Wow. Nvidia rebounding back up. Look at silver. 78.90s right now for silver. Silver is pushing higher here. But yeah, ADP job data tomorrow at 8:15. It's expected at 50,000. We also have the JOLTS job report tomorrow at 10 a.m. expected at 7.64 million. We have ISM non-manufacturing, which is ISM Services Purchasing Manager Index data, PMI data for December. It's expected at 52.2 yesterday or tomorrow. And then Thursday, we get jobless claims, Challenger job cut data, and more. Friday, we get the actual labor reports. We get non-farm payrolls expected at 57K. Look at silver. Push up $79 for silver. Wow. Gold is right here. We're looking at Nvidia, though, which I think is causing this pop. Gold is at 44.7s. NASDAQ at 25.6s. Silver, though, at $79. Pushing towards highs. JOLTS job report is just, it's kind of like another job report. So like job openings is kind of like, it's jobs, obviously, you know, but you would interpret it kind of like a jobs report, kind of. So like higher is stronger for jobs, lower is weaker. It kind of more accurately like signifies expansions in business. So if we're looking at the JOLTS report, really they define it as, let's see, a higher JOLTS number is going to essentially mean strength in hiring. It's the JOLTS. The JOLTS on Wednesday. All right, look at silver finally dipping down again. The NASDAQ is up there. Yeah, so like the way you want to look at JOLTS is like when job openings are higher, which is what JOLTS measures, labor demand is stronger and workers have more options. So conditions are better for workers. More openings means more bargaining power, faster wage growth, so it's better for labor in the short run, is essentially what it means. Again, look at gold down here too. NASDAQ. Here's Nvidia. Nvidia rebound. Again, another 200 exponential bounce here for Nvidia. Look at the 200 EMA right here. That's precisely where we bounced for Nvidia. I want to see if Bitcoin makes another test of that 94,000 level here, though. 94 is not that far away from where we're at now. Maybe we'll see it at the open. But yeah. Hey, what's up, Rala? May need to get out of AMD. Looks like it might drop. Yeah, I mean, microchips are volatile. We have the CES event over the next few days even. We had the keynote yesterday from NVIDIA. But microchips have been strong leading into that. NVIDIA, though, has been a little back and forth. Again, microchips dipped a lot yesterday, starting at the opening bell. They pushed up for the first, like, 2 or 3 minutes and then just dumped down all day. If you look at NVIDIA as an example of this, and AMD, or whichever one you want to look at, but... yeah, so look, here's the opening bell for NVIDIA, and AMD looks very similar to this. Right, but NVIDIA, AMD pushed up for the first like 5 minutes of the day, and then since then we just dropped almost all day for Nvidia, AMD. Like, look, went all the way down to 186s from 193. That's a very large percentage drop. That basically buy the rumor, sell the news dynamic is what this is. So leading into the CES keynote. Look at silver, by the way, guys. Silver pushing 79s right now, over 79s as we speak. But yeah, leading into the CES event, optimism is high. And then after, you know, sometimes it's a little bit too high to where people have unrealistic expectations for it. And then after the keynote, we see contractions. We see corrections is what I should say. People start taking profit. Sales start coming in. All that stuff happens. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to hold down. If we zoom into today, we're back up a little bit for NVIDIA. AMD, again, looks very similar. Here's AMD, same period of time. First 1 minute, 234s, and then dumped all the way down to 220s. Currently sitting at 220s, still 222s. So have rebounded some, but not crazy amount back up. Piper Sandler also reaffirmed overweight on NVIDIA. He thinks they think one of their analysts, Harsh Kumar, reiterates an overweight rating and a 225 price target after attending the CES keynote. They said strong confidence in NVIDIA's tech leadership, noting Vera Rubin is in full production with revenue expected second half of this year. Piper Sandler also cited strong demand for H200 in China pending approval on the launch of Alpha Mayo autonomous driving model. Dell is also introducing Dell UltraSharp 52 Thunderbolt hub monitor and Dell UltraSharp 32 4K QD OLED monitor. All right, so Morgan Stanley also files for a spot Bitcoin ETF for 1.3 trillion. Look at silver though, man. Silver is pushing towards $80. I think 80 obviously a big psychological level right here at $80. Maybe we'll have some room for a bull trade up here to this level, just to see if we kind of can trend up there. I don't know what we'll do after 80, but I'm kind of looking at that area. Again, increasing volume of headlines surrounding stuff going on overseas in the Middle East. President said some stuff about that. But look at silver and gold. Oil, on the other hand, dipping down a little bit from where it was earlier this morning, although it is still green, it looks like on the day. What are you guys most interested in buying? I see Marvell is going to acquire XCon Tech, expanding leadership into AI data center connectivity. Do you think silver and gold can contest all-time highs again this week? Yeah, I mean, I think they could. I'm not saying they will, but I think they could. You know, we'll see. So a lot of breakout. Yeah, look at silver. Still push it. I see Amgen is going to acquire Dark Blue Therapeutics for $840 million in oncology. And silver on another big run. Again, silver all-time highs, 82.67 in silver futures is the all-time highs. I don't know. I wouldn't say markets are boring. I think silver's on a run right now. It's pushing back higher. It bounced right at that $78 level earlier this morning, and it's basically been on a pretty steep trend up here. I think we have the NVIDIA CES event, and so NVIDIA and other microchips are a little bit active today and yesterday. Bitcoin's up and elevated. It's at around 94,000. Oil's even green with the stuff going on. So yeah, Google also had some good news this morning. If you take a look at some of the earlier news that we covered here, saw some Google news. Let me see where it was. Yeah, Google secured a U.S. Department of Defense generative AI mill contract, advanced custom TPU development, and agreed to acquire clean energy developer Intersect Power for approximately $4.75 billion to support AI infrastructure. Goldman Sachs has also upgraded Coinbase to a buy rating and a 303 price target. And again, we're going to be day trading live today. So we have been most of the morning already. Yeah, I mean, I obviously think so, Waylo. He said, do you think the president's Venezuela stuff has any impact on the market? Yeah, I mean, I think it does. It's definitely affecting oil, but I think it affects everything to a certain extent. Now, how much of an impact, I'd argue, but I think it's affecting. I think we're still in kind of a quiet period of markets where markets are still a little bit quiet. I think kids are going to start going back to school. And people are going to start trading the markets a little bit more heavily. Again, the week from early Christmas to early January is called the ghost period of time, like ghost weeks in markets where everything's kind of closed and slow and boring and a lot of holidays. Look at silver push here. So silver almost up to 79.25s. Yeah, look at silver. Again, I'm watching $80 as kind of a level here. Again, here's oil. Here's gold. We're also going to be trading the NASDAQ as well. I'm not a big natural gas trader, Matt, but I understand why people trade it. I'm just not a big natty gas trader. Look at Bitcoin underneath me as well here. So Bitcoin starting to pop. It's at 93,860s. 'Alright, guys, so silver at 79.25. So look at Nvidia though. Nvidia, I think 190 makes sense to watch. It's right around 190. Amazon's Alexa Plus announces plan to expand to Samsung TV, BMW, and many more. Caterpillar also introduces Cat AI Assistant, and it's going to launch this quarter, in quarter one of 2026. Minutes market opens. Yeah, we'll see what we get. Again, silver's up a lot. Nvidia's testing 190s after the CES event yesterday. Gold is up there. Bitcoin is popping very quickly back up to almost 94,000. Look at Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin is almost at 94K right now. I mean, I bought a little bit of Netflix this morning. Again, I'm not an investment professional. If you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities. Great way to learn how to day trade. Limits your risk. I'll put the link up. Again, they're a sponsor of mine. I'm biased, of course, but genuinely useful for traders. There's the link right there. I'll pin it to the top of the chat if you want to check it out. But yeah, I bought Netflix this morning. I don't know if it's going to continue higher. I just think with live sports and everything they're getting into, maybe we'll get some good edge there. But again, I got to kind of wait and see. Yeah, we tried to do a stream this morning. Oh man, I still got the disclaimer up. We tried to do a stream this morning with mobile, but I think I just want to keep it the same, to be honest. All right. Watching silver. All right, I'm still looking at gold. Look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin now over 94,000 as we speak. Bitcoin has popped over 94K. Look at that. Risk appetite is on the rise. Sitting on silver right now and wondering how much further it has to go. Yeah, look at Bitcoin. Over 94,000 for the first time. It's even holds. It hasn't really held over 94K in a while. Barkin's still speaking. He says he's paying close attention to layoffs for evidence of change in current low hiring, low firing job market. Google and Xreal are extending their strategic partnership. PayPal is launching their transaction graph insights and measurement program. But yeah, apparently Barkin is paying close attention to layoffs for evidence of change in current low hiring, low firing job market. All right, so we're dipping down in silver. I'm curious if I want to buy this. Look at Nvidia now over 190s. Bitcoin at 94 130s. Hey, what's up, Brian? Yeah, I'm just glad we get economic data tomorrow. It's been kind of light the last few weeks here. We didn't even get a weekly report for ADP last week, so Ghost Week is finally over. We get some stuff this week, but man, I want to see if Bitcoin holds here. All right, so here's gold 44.80s. Bitcoin still holding over 94s and Nvidia over 190. If silver makes another jump up today heading into the open. Yeah, Nvidia 190s. We got 15 minutes into the opening bell. Yeah, I don't know how much I've played this song. This is like John's theme song. It's not bad. I don't hate the song. We got a lot of songs there that we listen to. This playlist is days old. I've been running it for years, so. I wish I could watch my dang charts. My physical silver's up so much. Yeah, look at silver dip though. I might actually buy the silver pullback here. It's small, but this is micro silver. Yeah, let me make sure it's micro silver. So we just bought this dip. Let's see if this dip holds. Here we go. We're up $50, $75. I'm gonna cut it right there. So now we're up about $400 and everything. If we buy another little pullback here, that's a very large dip for silver, so I think it gave us some room on the upside, and we got it. Gold's rebounding back up too. Again, Nvidia right at 190, so I want to see if that holds. But we got 13 minutes. No, we don't have any big data today. Again, we're still kind of in the midst of Ghost Week. That all ends tomorrow. We got ADP data tomorrow. You can buy yourself a loaf of bread with it. $800 or with $80. That's an expensive loaf of bread. I mean, for a 3-second trade though, look, we could act like $80 is peanuts, and maybe it is. I mean, again, net we're up about almost 400 on the day, and it's not the opening bell yet. We'll see what that brings in 12 minutes, but that'd be an expensive loaf of bread, is all I'm saying. Should have said eggs. Maybe eggs should be a little bit more accurate. Yeah, we got a little time though. Bitcoin again at 94s. Who's got the bread, like the cheesy bread? Which Texas restaurant is that? I can't remember. Whether it's large enough or not is just relative. Yeah, we had to start and stop a couple streams today too, so I'm gonna buy this dip again. First time we got into the open, we got 11 minutes. See if I regret not buying this pullback. Gold pulling back. Ford U.S. sales are up 6%, which is the best since 2019. Total sales for 2,204,124 vehicles, up 6%. Market share is currently up 0.6 points at 13.2% for Ford. Like Barkin's done speaking here. I don't know about whether good long-term. I'm not an investment professional, but I did buy a little of Netflix. Don't copy me. I'm not an investment professional. I am in Netflix. I did add some to it this morning. Again, I think in the future, they're going to be getting into more and more live sports. I think we see that dynamic changing. I think they're probably going to announce spin-offs of Stranger Things as well. I really have a hard time believing they're going to end everything there. I think they're going to have some type of spin-offs. And so I think short term, I'm not sure. Stranger Things just ended, which is their big cash cow. But long term, you know, I'm optimistic for Netflix. I also think Netflix is in the midst of a very large pullback. It's been pulling back for like, what, 3 months now since it split a couple months ago. And so I think probably going to be okay. And it's probably going to rebound, but I'm not sure what it's going to do short term. So long term, I like it. I should have bought silver right here, though. Yeah, Bitcoin's over 94,000 and it's still pushing higher here. It's at 94,320s right now, 94,320s. Don't do it, Sarge. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Look at Bitcoin, though, guys. Bitcoin's still surging higher here. You guys can actually see the price. But look at Bitcoin right here. Bitcoin's making some moves right now. It's at 94.3s as we speak. 94.3s. Silver's got to slow down. I was thinking about buying silver right here. I'm kind of mad I didn't, but that's okay. Yeah, I got to protect the profit we have on the day, at least a little bit. We're still heading higher here. Again, Bitcoin held at 94,000. We're back over it now. I want to see how long Bitcoin holds over 94,000. Bitcoin hasn't really been over 94K since I think it's like September. Let me go back and see how long it's been since Bitcoin's been over here. Like, I know it popped over 94 and got up to almost 95, but prior to this, but like it start up. Prior to this, Bitcoin has been under 94,000 since November, what it is. It hasn't really held over there since early November. So it's been a few months since Bitcoin has held over 94K. And so I'd love to see it hold here. It looks strong as well. We got 7 minutes into the opening bell, so it does look strong also. 80K is officially the bottom. I've heard so many different stories about it. Yeah, I'm up about 4 something at there. Not quite. Yeah, I'm up almost 400 a day currently. One account I'm up 300 or so. The other account I'm up a little bit. Well, no, it tapped it, but it didn't hold. It didn't hold. I mean, I'm really curious to see if silver can break $80 as well. Silver $80 is right here. Here's the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ is a little bit more stagnant than everything else, I would say. 25,600 is what I'm watching on the NASDAQ. I think that's probably a big level to watch. I hate to break it to Bitcoin optimists. What's up, Kotu? Yeah, we'll see if we can hold on to this profit we have on the day so far. Looking at our poll numbers, 51% are green, 28% are red, 21% say no trades at all today. Not if they're just sitting in the account. If I withdraw, yes. I gotta pay taxes on any income I make, but Bitcoin less likely test the 50-week EMA before deciding where it poops out or goes higher. Again, look at the NASDAQ climbing higher here. Nvidia back up to 190. You can watch 190.50s or 190.60s up here. But the NASDAQ climb right now. NASDAQ up to 25,620s. Silver still a little quiet after testing 79s. But here's $79 even right here. Again, we have less than 5 minutes. Oracle. Yeah, I'm in Oracle. I'll probably just sit in it. I'm up enough. I'm at 182s. It's at 192s. So we're up like 5% or whatever that is. All right, here's silver dipping down under $79 here. Look at the NASDAQ pop, NVIDIA popping up to about 190.50, which is right around here. Google's pushing higher a little bit as well. So there's a Senate briefing tomorrow at 10 a.m. on Venezuela, according to CNN. Briefers include Secretary of State Rubio and Hegseth and AG Bondi. Yeah, again, as for when you pay taxes, ask your account professional. Mine is with prop firm, so it's a little bit different. When I say withdraw, I mean withdraw from there. And so again, ask your tax professional. I am not an account taxing or a tax professional. Ask a CPA, not me. Top 3 least tax professional people in the world right now. Don't do it. Again, Bitcoin now pulling back. I want to see if it holds support at 94,000. Yeah, I'm not one, Brian. I have no idea. Don't ask me. I want to buy silver right here, though. How much time we got left into the opening bell? We got 2.5 minutes. You're top 3. I'm top 3 least tax professional people in the world. Do not copy me, especially in taxes. All right, guys, so we're dipping down on silver. NVIDIA right at 190.50s. NASDAQ pulling back a little bit. This got to be stock-related. Oracle is now technically red on the day. We have Meta trying to push higher here. Again, here's Oracle. Here's Meta. So both of these are dropping down, I mean. But Meta getting bought back up, though. Look at this. We have Google. Had some news this morning. AMD and other microchips are kind of volatile. Look at AMD. Down to 222s. Look at NVIDIA. Up to 190s. And Apple sitting at 267s. Right now, 267s. Got about 2 minutes until the opening bell. Good luck, guys. Yeah, we got about a minute and a half. Hit the live button next to the play button. Put it in 2x speed to make sure you catch up. Yeah, we got about a minute left. All right, guys, 1 minute. Bull or bear at the opening bell? Let me know in chat right now. Are you bullish or bearish? All right, I see bull, bear, bull, bull, bear. Here's the opening bell in 20 seconds. I think we're kind of split down the middle here in terms of bull or bear. Yeah, I think depending on whether you like silver, gold, Bitcoin, NASDAQ. NASDAQ pushing up a little bit ahead of the opening bell. Here we go. Here's the opening bell, guys. Good luck. All right, there's the bell. We got silver on the main chart on the NASDAQ on the left side. We got the NASDAQ on the bottom middle. We have NVIDIA trying to make movements. And then underneath me, we have Bitcoin over 94,000. NASDAQ is pushing up a little bit since the opening bell. NVIDIA is trying to hold also. But again, these pushed up a lot at the open and then dipped yesterday. Silver's pushing towards $79 again right here. Look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ up to 25,667s on the NQ. Look at silver. Silver back over 79s. We're about a minute into the opening bell. If we hold here, I'm looking at $79. Silver's still pushing. I kind of want to buy a dip in silver, but I know it's really risky, especially with the spread on silver this close to the opening bell. I know it's kind of risky. I still might be looking for a dip in silver to buy, though. Silver at 79.20s. NASDAQ pulling back a little bit, so is Nvidia, but they're still okay. Meta is pushing up at the opening bell also. I'm in Home Depot. It's not doing the best at the open, but it's a very small position. I might actually add to it. We get a big pullback in silver. I'm going to buy that dip right here. It's a little bit early. But you know what? All right, there we go. We're nicely green. All right, I'm going to cut about another $70 in profit or so. I got to take quick trades based off of how fast this stuff's moving. Might look for another dip here. How much time we got? We're at almost 3 minutes into the bell. We can buy silver again right here. Get a retracement back up there. Go with green. Let's see if silver pushes higher now. Go. Yeah, we're green. Go, we're up about 100. I don't know how much I got there, but I think it was enough. Maybe buy this dip again. Bitcoin right at 94,000. Oh, I'm so tempted to buy silver again here. I think it'll probably push up more, but I might get caught in a squeeze down, so I'm just gonna wait. Yeah, currently we're up about 450. Yeah, I see Tesla down a little bit. Tesla at 440s at the open. Barkin says one positive of AI is to allow people to qualify to do more complicated tasks. Consumer sentiment is important to watch. The challenge in the next 10 years is likelihood that the U.S. will have more jobs than available workers. Yeah, let's see. NASDAQ still dipping down. Nvidia is starting to rise back up. It's back over 190s. Bitcoin is right at 94,000 here. Like right exactly at 94K. We will see if it holds now. Oh, I should have held silver. I thought we would push up here. It's alright. We're up enough on the day, mostly day trading silver, that it's okay. I'll buy another pullback here, though, in silver is what I'm wondering. We're right at the highs, though. We're kind of at the top of the range. I don't know if I like it. NASDAQ pulling deeply down here. Tesla's falling. That's driving some of it. Oracle down. Meta reversed back down. Microsoft reversed. Google's very green on the day, though. It's at 320s. I'm using Top Step. If you want to check it out, link is pinned at the top of the chat. Again, I'm not an investment professional. They're a sponsor of mine, so I'm kind of biased, of course, but genuinely useful. Silver's pushing up. It's at 79.50s. I want to see if it tests 80 today, so I might buy a dip here in silver, see if we can test 80. We've got a large enough cushion on the day, but we'll see what happens here. Still pushing it higher here. She's 79.50s. I need a dip. I'm not going to buy it when it's kind of elevated right here. I need to pull back. But again, silver's pushing towards that $80 level. Yeah, Bitcoin bouncing right at 94,000. Talked about this level. If we can hold over it. We get a 79.5 pullback in silver. I might buy that dip. Short term, tight stop loss. We might not get a chance though. We might just keep pushing towards 80. We're so close. I think that it wants to at least test it for silver. Okay, here's almost 79.5s. Bitcoin back at 94,000. See if silver gives us this dip. Might not get the chance. Keep dipping. Like that. Okay. We're jumping in here. Yeah. We're at that level. We got a cushion on the day as well. So we do have a fairly large cushion on the day. So if we get a pop here at 79.50 and move up to 8s. 80s, I mean. Can add to this too and just kind of risk what I have on this account on the day and profit. That pop makes a move back up there. Yeah, I mean, we're still going to be green on the day. I want to give silver a chance to bounce here, though. It might not. I know silver sometimes makes bigger moves prior to the open. Bounce. I'm not going to add any to this. Oh, we have manufacturing PMI today at 9:45. Hold on, let me check. Y'all yell at me if this trade gets too out of control. Yeah, we have services PMI data at 9:45 today. We got a little bit of data coming out. I don't think it's big. Services PMI, it's not even the Institute of Supply Management one. I'm gonna take half of this off right here just to protect the trades. That way we're still very green on the day now that we're back up there, but we'll give it a chance to rebound here if it continues higher. Tapped 50. Might add back some size now. Get a chance to. I want to see if it pushes up to 80 though, so actually I'm just gonna leave it here. There we go. We got 5 minutes. Again, I don't think services PMI data is going to help us like that. There we go. I'm going to cut that right there. So yeah, we are up about $600 on the day now. One account, we're up actually, we're up over $600 on the day. Actually, no, I'm sorry. We're up 5 something. One account, we're up about 250. The other account, we're up about 290. So we're up like 560. Close to 600 though. We got the bounce in silvers a little bit earlier than I expected. I expected us to push up and retest 80s. If I would have held both contracts, we'd be up even more. I'm probably just going to leave these alone. I don't know if I should take any more trades on these accounts. I'll see what the data shows, though. I'm curious to see what the data shows. Alright, so we're still trying to hold here. I don't know if I should buy more. Alright guys, so I do see Tesla down. I see Google pulling back a little bit now. Nvidia is still holding though. Silver's still elevated, almost to $80. I'm not an affiliate of them, Allmac. They're a sponsor of mine, so it's different. I don't have an affiliate link for them. All right, guys. Tomorrow, we got ADP jobs report live. So, and again, in about a minute and a half, we got the services PMI data. Silver's still trying to make this move up. Again, NASDAQ's rebounding too, though, if we look at this. Look at that, Bitcoin still consolidating, but look at NASDAQ here. NASDAQ's climbing. Silver's stagnant a little bit. Nvidia's bouncing back, though, so we do see some stock movements. All right, look at Nvidia and the NASDAQ. NASDAQ just, I don't know if this is highest of the day, but it's pretty close. Highs of the day in the NASDAQ. Yeah, so the NASDAQ just broke highs of the day. It's up to 25,676 as we speak, 25,676. So the NASDAQ did break highs of the day. Silver's still pushing up. There's almost $80, which is what we talked about all morning. So almost $80 is what we talked about, and we're basically there now. See if silver keeps pushing higher here. All right, so look at silver. Silver's basically there. The NASDAQ's up to 25.7. Bitcoin holding at 94,000, and Nvidia's still pushing higher here. I'm sorry, ISM data did come out. It didn't really move markets that much. So we showed up at 52.5 versus 52.9, a little bit weaker than expected. But again, this is not really a big market mover. This is what it showed up as here. Sorry, missed it. Yeah, I don't know what trading advice is. I'm not giving it, you know. And again, if you want to check out Top Step, great way to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. You can day trade the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow, Russell, gold, commodities. Yeah, we got the ADP report. I'm trying to see when the last one showed up as. We didn't get one last week. $8:15 a.m. tomorrow is when we get the labor report from ADP. Silver tapped that $80 level and then pulled back. Bitcoin now under 93,000 and the NASDAQ at 25,696 here. So. All right, guys. So, yeah, we got the ADP report tomorrow. I'm going to cut out of here. And we'll be back tomorrow bright and early. So, yeah, just be ready, guys. I'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 8:15. So, it's an early report at 8:15. We also have the JOLTS report live at 10 a.m. tomorrow that we should cover. So, we do have the JOLTS report going live at 10 a.m. And, yeah, I'll see you guys over there. Yeah, we're just going to keep we tried running the mobile stream today. I'm just going to keep it regular, I think. Now, wait, didn't I just schedule the stream? Where'd it go? Okay, now I'm really confused. Okay, yeah, there we go. We got it. Okay, we got it. All right, yeah, we're going to redirect to tomorrow's stream. So I'll see you guys over there. Y'all be good again. Check out Top Step. You want to help support the channel. No PDT rule in futures. Great way to learn. And yeah, we got the ADP report tomorrow. I'll see you guys over there. Good luck.